So, okay, we have someone. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we have quite a few people saying good morning. Okay, very good morning to you and welcome to this session. Okay, great. We have audience today. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Uttara-Phalguni Nakshatra. Okay, so Uttara-Phalguni is spread between two signs. It starts in Leo and ends in Virgo. Normally, whenever this happens, that a nakshatra is spreading in two signs, I prefer to make two separate sessions, but this one I am trying to cover in one session only. Okay, because the reason is that Uttara Falguni's nature remains as is, either it is in Leo or Virgo. It is not changing much. The slight change, Uttara Phalguni in Leo and Uttara Phalguni in Virgo, I will tell. There is one slight change. Otherwise, the basic nature of Uttara Phalguni will remain as is. Okay. So that's why I'm trying to cover in one session only. Now, Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is starting. A starting point of Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is 26 degree 40 minutes of Leo. Okay, and it is ending at 10 degrees of Virgo. So as I said, it is spreading between two signs. Okay, it is starting in Leo. First 3 degree 20 minutes are in Leo, and then remaining 10 degrees are in the Virgo sign. So it has more qualities of Virgo than Leo. We can also say that this nakshatra has more qualities of Virgo rather than the Leo. Then it is its name. The preceding nakshatra is Purva Phalguni. This one is the later part of that nakshatra. Purva Phalguni is if I remember, the previous radish one. Okay, so this one is the later radish one. The name means the later radish one. Okay. Uh, in a way, this nakshatra represents. Okay. We will understand what it all means. I will tell you. Its representation is front legs of a bat or cot. Okay, front legs of a bat. I think the Purva Phalguni Nakshatra's representations were back legs, the later legs of the bat. This is front legs of the bat. The deity are 12 Adityas. Okay, 12 Adityas are the deities of this nakshatra. Nakshatra lord is Sun, and sign lord is Sun in Leo section and Mercury in Virgo section. The mythological story attached with this nakshatra are somewhere related with the story of birth of these 12 Adityas. Birth of these 12 Adityas, who are children of Aditi and sage Kashyap. Okay, so this is the mythological story attached with it, and these 12 Adityas are Sun, Ariman, and Dhatra, Twastar, Pushan, Savitar, Mitra, Varun, Amasa, Bhasa, Vishnu, and Shakra. Okay, these are the name of 12 Adityas which are lord of this nakshatras. Okay. Uh, okay. There is another mythological story attached with this nakshatra is of a sage and a conversation between the sage and King Janak. The sage asked King Janak how he runs this kingdom, how he runs his kingdom when he is surrounded by all the luxury and wealth. Okay, and King Janak said that I will let you know, but first go for a visit of the palace with a lamp in your hand, but make sure that lamp should not stop burning. Okay, and now the sage returns. The lamp is still burning, but he said that I could not visit your palace because my focus was all on the lamp. So Sage Janak replied that this is the way I run my kingdom. My focus is on the kingdom, not on the wealth and luxuries I am keeping in the palace. Okay, so this is also the a story related with the nakshatra. Now the main thing. Okay, so understand that this nakshatra is coming after Purva Phalguni. Okay, as I said in the introduction part of the nakshatra series, that all the nakshatras come into a sequel order. Okay, so this series starts with Magha. The first nakshatra of Leo sign is Magha. Magha is where a person is getting the authority and kingdom. Okay, Magha is where a prime minister or president or anyone is getting some authority in his life. Okay, the next nakshatra is Purva Phalguni. Purva Phalguni, where there is a celebration. A kingdom got a new king or new president or prime minister, and they are celebrating. Okay, so Purva Phalguni becomes the nakshatra of celebration after someone gets the authority. Okay, even if I get a job, I will have a party. Okay, with my first salary, or even after getting the offer letter, I may give a party to my friends. Okay, that is Purva Phalguni. So and then comes the Uttara-Phalguni Nakshatra. This nakshatra shows that you cannot have a party all the time. Okay, it is like you got the kingdom, you got the authority, now you are having the party, but this party cannot go for lifelong. You have to get back to work. Okay, so Uttara Phalguni is the nakshatra of getting back to the work, where the king or president, prime minister goes through a party or celebration kind of thing, but he realizes that he cannot celebrate whole of the time, and he has to get back to work and start working, start dealing with the matters. That's where the story of Sage and King Janak is very relevant. That sage asked how he runs his kingdom. Sage asked King Janak that how he runs his kingdom when there is so luxury and lavishness around. And Sage replied that my focus is on running the kingdom rather than on the lavishness or the luxuries. Okay, so this is the theme of Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. It is the nakshatra of hard work. It is the nakshatra of putting your best effort. It is the nakshatra of being practical and realistic. There is a reason why, because there is a reason why most of this nakshatra's portion is falling into Virgo sign. because Virgo also represents the same similar things. Okay, Virgo also represents being realistic, being practical, being hardworking. Okay, so this is the thing with Uttara-Phalguni also. Uttara-Phalguni also represents the same thing. That's why the majority of its portion is falling into Virgo, and only the initial 3 degrees are falling into the Leo sign. Okay, so this is the nakshatra of all the hard work after you celebrated your kingdom and all. Okay, so this nakshatra, the representation of the backlogs of the cot, or backlogs of the backlegs of the bed, is also a representation that someone is coming out of the bed. Okay, someone is coming out of the bed and going back to work. Okay, earlier nakshatra was where someone was going to bed to relax, to have a pleasant time and to take some rest. But this nakshatra is where person is coming out of the bed and going back to work. Okay, so this is again representing the hardworking nature of this nakshatra. Then, as I said, that the majority of this portion, this nakshatra falls into Virgo portion, Virgo sign. So it is the nakshatra of being practical and realistic also. They are very good with financial dealings. Okay, understand one thing with this nakshatra, because it is coming out after Purva Phalguni. Purva Phalguni is the nakshatra of finance and wealth. Okay, so someone who is who has finance and wealth, or someone who is dealing with finance and wealth, can be seen from Purva Phalguni. But someone who is in business of finance and wealth, someone who is working with finance and wealth regularly, is seen from Uttara Phalguni. Best representation of Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is someone working in the banks, or someone working in as a CA, a chartered accountant, or CACS, ICWA, or any kind of financial nature of work. They are very good with financial matters. Okay, the Uttara Phalguni people. Okay, then they are very good at because this nakshatra also makes someone very good at attending the details, attention to details. Okay, so this nakshatra can also become a very important to someone who is working in a stock market. Plus this nakshatra can be seen very prominent in horoscopes of lawyers. Okay, because although lawyers are not exactly working in financial field, but their work is also about dealing with lots of details. If a lawyer is drafting an agreement, or he is drafting a petition, okay, he has to be very sure of what to present, what not to present, and how to present it. Okay, that is where Uttara Phalguni is very important. Okay, so this is the nakshatra of the perfection and realistic approach. So that's where when, especially when Uttara Phalguni is coming into Virgo, that's where all these qualities will come into the fore. That person can be very realistic, practical, perfectionist, and hardworking, and mainly in the field of financial nature of business, or any dispute or conflict, resolving any dispute or conflict as a lawyer or as a counselor. Okay, so this is very prominent about Uttara Phalguni. Then again, Purva Phalguni is the nakshatra of love and romance. Uttara Phalguni can be termed as nakshatra of committed relationship or marriage as an institution. So in Purva Phalguni we can get into relationship, we can start dating someone. But in Uttara Phalguni we may convert that relationship into a committed one. Okay, so this is and this is important with Uttara Phalguni. Then Okay, now the main difference of Uttara Phalguni in Leo sign and Uttara Phalguni in Virgo sign. The basic trait and characteristic of Uttara Phalguni will remain the same. They will remain hardworking and detail oriented, perfectionist, and very analytical. In Leo sign, they will use it for their authority, to gain authority. Okay, Uttara Phalguni in Leo sign is using the same energy to gain some authority and recognition. Uttara Phalguni in Virgo sign is using to seek perfection. Okay, they want to become perfect with their job. They don't care whether they are getting the recognition or authority or not. Okay, they may not care for it, but they may care for the perfection. Whatever they are doing, it has to be perfect. Okay, that's what they are seeking in the Virgo section. In the Leo section, they are looking for the authority and recognition. Okay, so this is the main difference between Uttara Phalguni in Leo and Uttara Phalguni in Virgo. Most of the things will remain as is. That's why I wanted to cover in one session only difference is that Uttara Phalguni in Leo will be about this authority and recognition, and Uttara Phalguni in Virgo is about getting some reaching your perfection level. Okay, that is the difference, or that is the significance of the Virgo sign. Then, as the birth of 12 Adityas are also related with this nakshatra. This nakshatra can be seen as one of the nakshatra of childbirth. Okay, childbirth and procreation. As the story of Raja Janak, where he said that my focus is on kingdom rather than the luxuries. Okay, so this can also be seen as the nakshatra of someone who is totally absorbed in the management of his work. Okay, they can be very good at management. Someone who is just absorbed with management, and he is not looking anywhere else. Okay, like like King Janak said that I am just looking after my kingdom and I am not worried about the luxuries. Okay, so this person can also be so hardworking, so much focused on his work, that he is only looking at his work and reaching the perfection level. He is not even thinking of the luxuries and wealth it may bring. Okay, now another thing is that if you are doing anything with perfection, with so much of seriousness and hard work, you are going to get wealth or luxury sooner or later in life. Okay, it is not a big deal. So no matter if person is looking for it or not, it is the natural outcome. As I always say, there is no work in the world which doesn't pay you money. Every work in the world pay us money. It just depends on us how we are doing that work. Okay, so this is the thing. So this nakshatra is basically related with if I just recap, this nakshatra is basically related with hard work. Okay, it is the nakshatra of being practical, being realistic, getting back to work, putting your best efforts over the longest period of time, reaching a level of perfection in your work. That is Uttara Phalguni. Uttara Phalguni in Leo is more about getting the authority. Uttara Phalguni in Virgo is more about getting perfection done. Okay. It can be the nakshatra related with someone working in banks or any kind of financial nature of work. It can be the nakshatra of lawyers. It can be nakshatra of anyone who is dealing with lots of details. Okay, somewhere we can relate with astrology also. Okay, because in astrology also we are dealing with lots of details. Astrology or any kind of occult science, every occult science is matter of lots of detail. So we can somewhere we can relate it with that also. Plus, as I said, it is the nakshatra of committed relationship. Purva Falguni is about dating, about meeting someone and having love romance, but Uttara Falguni is about committed relationship, marriage. Okay, and then as I said, one more thing was there. Lawyer, right? I think I covered everything. Okay, childbirth. Okay, as the story of 12 Adityas are related with this nakshatra, it can be one of the nakshatra of childbirth and all the procreation activities. Okay, so this is what Uttara Falguni suggests for all of us. Now, once someone has majority of planets in Uttara Phalguni, or like moon in Uttara Phalguni or sun in Uttara Phalguni, it can be making it can be giving these results for you. Okay, let's see if people have some questions. I think people have. Okay, just a second. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I did not know this would be the topic today, as I always follow your live videos. Today is my lucky day. I am Uttara Phalguni Moon in ninth house. Moon sign is around 8 degrees Virgo, right? So, moon is mind. Okay, now understand, moon is mind, and it is Capricorn ascendant. So moon is falling into the ninth house Virgo at 8 degree in Uttara Phalguni. So it is a perfectionist mind. It is a mind which is very perfectionist, who wants to do everything in a very perfectionist manner. Okay, like you may like to have almost everything in your life perfect. Okay, like if you want something to be placed somewhere, uh, you may not like it to that it is even few centimeters here or there. Okay, that is what I mean to say by perfectionist, that whatever we want in a particular order, that is what we are looking for. Okay, so first of all, it can make you a very perfectionist person, a perfectionist mind actually. Okay, how much efforts you are able to put in reaching that perfection depends upon a lot of planets. But when moon is there, it makes it a perfectionist mind. Then it can be perfection in the matters of higher education, ninth house related thing, higher education, religion, philosophy, literature. So when it comes to discussion of philosophy, let's say, okay, when it comes to discussion of philosophy or religion, you may argue with the person a lot. Okay, you may argue with the person a lot, and would like to have a logical and practical answers from the person. Otherwise you are not able to believe in his philosophy, in his theory. Okay, that is what moon is in Uttara Phalguni is doing. Plus moon is mind's moon is mother also. So you may have inherited all these qualities from your mother. Plus moon is ruling your seventh house and sitting in the ninth house, shows that in matters of relationship also you can be very perfectionist, and that may bring some difficulty, because no individual is perfect. Everyone has his drawbacks and disadvantages, and we may need to sometimes adjust with the drawbacks. Okay, So these are the main themes of moon in Virgo in ninth house. Okay, hello. Uh, Great explanation, sir. What's the result of sun is in Uttara-Phalguni? Sun means career, okay, and father. So it shows that person can have a father who is very perfectionist, or a person who has a very perfectionist approach towards his career. Okay, they may like to work hard. It is not only about being perfectionist or desiring perfection. It is also person is willing to put his best of effort to get that perfection. Okay, that is what we can see from sun in Uttara Falguni. In your work or career, you can be dealing with lots of details, and working with lots of details, and you may have to work very hard and to reach that perfection level. Okay, it is a good position actually, sun in Virgo in Uttara Falguni, as sun rules Uttara Falguni. As Jupiter leads fat in the body, fat on body, can it be good for native because Jupiter is auspicious planet, or not because any bad effect this fat on native? I didn't understand your question. Okay, can you please rephrase it? As Jupiter leads fat on body, can it is good for native because Jupiter is auspicious planet, or not because cause any bad effect this fat on native? All I'm trying to understand is that you are saying that as Jupiter is the benefic planet, even if it is bringing fat on the person, then also it is auspicious. Somewhere I disagree, because although we have categorized planets as benefic planets or malefic planets, or even the houses as auspicious houses and Dushtana houses, but understand everything is gray. Okay, there is nothing like completely black or completely white. So Jupiter also has some difficulties with it, and fat is one of those difficulties. As I am going through Jupiter Dasha, I know very well about it. So it is like if it is bringing fat, it is a negative significance. Why it is bringing fat? It is because Jupiter is an expansive planet. It is the biggest planet. So when its dasha comes, it expands the person also. Okay, but we cannot say that fat is good just because Jupiter is a benefic planet. Okay, fat, too much of fat will affect your health one day or the other. So it is better not to keep it, and work out, and get rid of fat and obesity. Okay, what is your take in on moon in Uttara Falguni for Kumbh Lagna? So it is falling into the 8th house also. Okay, if it is in Leo sign, as Virgo is 8th from of right. So it is in Virgo, then it is in 8th house. It is in enemy sign, plus it is in 8th house, which is considered as Maran Karaka position for the moon. They say theoretically it is said that moon goes into the 8th house to die, but no planet actually dies. It is just that moon is mind, and our mind wants stability. Okay, so what is happening that 8th house is the house of instability. So the environment of 8th house is not very good or conducive for the moon or the mind remains very fearful of the changes coming into life and all. Okay, So this is where we need to remember that moon in 8th house is not a good position, plus it is an enemy sign. Okay, so it is again not a good position for moon, but at the same time it is in Uttara-Phalguni. So in 8th house related matters, this person can be seeking perfection. Okay, 8th house can be marriage benefits, business benefits, inheritance, or occult mysticism and all, research oriented matters. So when you are dealing with these matters, the 8th house related matters, mind may be very perfectionist type of. Even if you are researching about astrology, you may like to find an astrologer who is perfect in his explanation. Okay, then only you may be able to believe the person. But then moon also rules the sixth house. Sixth house lord sitting in the eighth house, it is causing this Viprit Raj Yoga. So it is showing that some negative events are coming into life, but they are bringing some benefits to you. Okay, like someone going through accident, but he is getting some insurance money. Okay, so this type of scenario can happen with Viparit Raj Yoga. It also shows some conflicts in relationship matters, marriage benefits, and all. It also shows frustration in the inheritance. But when we deal with the Ajiva Karakas, non-living significances of 8th house, that is research, occult, mysticism, that is where, or business benefits, that is where you can best utilize this moon, and you can reach perfection in those matters. Okay, like perfection in the research oriented education, or if you are interested in occult and all. So this is important. Kumbh Lagna, Saturn in the Saturn in Capricorn in Hasta Lagna. How would Shani Mahadasha be? From Lagna, moon is 8th house. From Saturn Mahadasha, moon is in the. It may not be in Hasta Lagna, in Capricorn. Hasta is the part of Virgo sign, right? Saturn Dasha is always troublesome. Okay, it is always challenging. It is not going to be beneficial at any time. Okay, it will require person to put best of effort over the longest period of time. Then only it gives the result. So first thing, this person should be aware that as soon as Saturn Dasha kicks in, he has to work hard. Okay, only by working hard he will get some result. Okay, so that is important. Um, in a way, Saturn is the easiest planet to interpret or read, because it is not going to change its nature. Okay, so Saturn in any house, any sign, it is going to remain the same. In the 10th house, it can bring some. You have to work very hard for saving your wealth. Okay, it may bring some big expenses. Okay, so just be very sure of what where you want to save your money and all. Okay, so this is the thing. But basically, the in one sentence, if I to say about Saturn Dasha, it is all about hard work. It is all about hard work for 19 years. There is no other way. Okay, there is no other way to deal with this Saturn Mahadasha. Sun is in Uttara-Phalguni in 5th house for Taurus ascendant, along with Rahu, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter. What result here? When there is such a stellium, I may need to look at the whole chart, but 5 planets in Virgo in Uttara-Phalguni. Virgo sign itself can be like the person can be very perfectionist by his approach. It may be up to the level of obsession of perfection. Okay, so then that can be there, but in matters of relationship it may not be very good, but in matters of education and career, especially in business, so, setup career, because fifth house is 10th from 8th from the 10th. So if this person wants to work under others authority in job setup, then he will suffer, but when he goes into his own work, then he will prosper. Okay, so this is the thing. Overall, this person can be perfectionist, totally perfectionist. Whatever he is doing in his life, he might like to be perfection, reaching perfection in that sort of work. Okay, I have my Lagna, Sun, Mercury, Venus all in Uttara-Phalguni. And does it mean too much perfection in nature? Yes, and that is what is going to bring gains to you. Okay, that is what is going to bring. Without reaching perfection, you may not be able to reach the best position or best authority in your life. So whatever you are doing in your life, you have to do it perfectly. And perfection is there is no limit of perfection, right? So we can always improve on whatever we are doing, unless we get exhausted. Okay, unless and until we get exhausted and we leave it at there. But otherwise, there is no limit of perfection. Someone can always be better than you. Okay, someone can always be ahead of you, and you can always chasing that person and reaching that level of perfection. So this is the thing with so many planets in the first house in Virgo. The whole life path can be of perfection. Any further question? Ketu in Uttara-Phalguni Nakshatra. This is different. In Navamsha in ascendant, and and Sun in Mula in fourth house, also ascendant Lord Mercury. In 10th house, what Ketu in this case can give the result in Navamsha chart. I prefer looking at D1 chart first. Navamsha and every other chart comes at a later stage. So if someone has Ketu in Navamsha, Ketu in Uttara-Phalguni in D1 chart, let's take this example. Okay, Ketu in Uttara-Phalguni in D1 chart. Okay, now it will have two types of results. Ketu is separation. Uttara-Phalguni is the nakshatra of perfection. Okay, uh, this in initial life, when this person is growing up, this person may have no idea how to reach the level of perfection. Okay, as he grows up, he may be very good with research and editing kind of work. Ketu in Virgo in Uttara Phalguni is very good for editing. Okay, any work related with editing, but it is in D1 chart. Okay, now I cannot directly say about D9 chart, but in D1 chart, Ketu in Uttara Phalguni in this Virgo sign can be very good for editing related work in later life. Once the person crosses the 20 or 30 mark, after that it can be a very good for editing kind of work. Any kind of they are excellent with research. Okay, with Ketu in Virgo, because Virgo is the sign of perfection, Uttara Phalguni is the nakshatra of perfection, and this is research. Ketu is research. So unless they reach the perfection level in their research, perfect results with their research, they will not stop. Okay, so that is what happens. But this will take some effort. In initial life they may not be interested, but when they have to work hard, and they will learn it. Other significances of Uttara Phalguni, like marriage and all, they can be like feeling separated from it, like a committed relationship and all, because of Ketu's nature of separation. But again, this is in D1 chart. Sun in 4th house in Uttara Phalguni for Taurus ascendant with 5 planets there. Sun, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter. What results in Venus Dasha? Most probably this Venus will be in Pap Kartri Yoga. Okay. When Venus is with malefic planets, plus it is in enemy sign, plus like in 4th house, it can make someone very creative. Leo is the sign of creativity. It can make someone very creative, and this Sun is in Uttara-Phalguni Nakshatra, so in matters of career they may like to seek the perfection. Okay, they may like to get the perfect authority or something like that. But again, that authority is coming from 4th house of home or private offices. So they may have to get the authority by working from home or working in a private office setup business. Okay. I am a perfectionist and it has worked against me many times. My Saturn is in the 10th house Libra to compound my level of perfectionism, but I will do a very hard work to be a better person. Also, I am a singer songwriter, great composer, musician. My perfectionism helps with this, and in spiritual matters. Jupiter, Venus in 12th in Jupiter Dasha, right? So again, as you are a musician, a composer, it is also about dealing with lots of details, right? This profession also is about dealing with lots of details and reaching the perfection level in your work. Perfectionism can be a negative thing if one doesn't want to put the effort and change into themselves, but if one examines themselves and is able to change, then yes, great things too can be achieved, right? Sun in Uttara Phalguni conjunct with 5 planets Rahu, Mercury, Venus in 4th house of Taurus ascendant. What results to expect during Venus Mahadasha? His job due to COVID is in problem. Can you tell? Can you tell about career problems? I cannot give the predictions here or the consultation. It may take detailed analysis. Plus 5 planets are there in the 4th house Leo. From very outset, I can say that because Rahu is in the 4th house, that means Ketu is in the 10th house. That means person should not work under others. Okay, this person should think about his own business, and then there he may get the authority and recognition. Thank you for your teachings. Thank you for watching. Jupiter in Virgo 7th house can show the life partner is perfectionist. First of all, it is your chart. Okay, understand one thing, that if Virgo sign is falling somewhere in my chart, okay, then first of all I am becoming perfectionist in that area of life. Okay, because a spouse or partner is coming later in your life at the age of 20 or 30 years of age. We cannot say that till 20 or 30 years of age that house or that sign didn't give us any result at all. Okay, now if you are a perfectionist person, Okay, if Virgo is falling into the seventh house and the person is becoming perfectionist himself, then he will seek a perfectionist spouse. What is the big deal about it? Okay, as it is always said that your spouse is nothing but your mirror image. And because mirror image is reverse, is reverse in reverse way, we are unable to accept that our spouse is actually our mirror image. Okay, but it is always the case. Okay, so that is what I mean to say, that life partner can be perfectionist here, but it is because the person himself is perfectionist and he is seeking a perfectionist spouse. Okay, what is result if Lagna and Moon in on Uttara-Phalguni star in Virgo sign? Uh, as I said, then that this person can be very perfectionist towards overall life, whatever they are dealing in their life, either relationship, work, business, or properties. They may like to do everything in a very perfectionist way. Plus Uttara Phalguni, it can bring gains from works like this uh, financial nature of work. Okay, I don't know the full chart, the career related houses and all, but it can, because Moon is ruling 11th house of gains here, and Moon is sitting in Virgo. That means person is gaining through self efforts in a work which is which can be in financial nature of work. Okay. Okay, I think we are done. Let's see if anyone has any further question. Okay, so take care, have a nice Sunday. Let's meet next week. If anyone has questions, they can always comment. I will be more than happy to respond. Take care, bye.